Welcome to the next Jojovein stand showcase. Today I'm going to be showing off Crazy Diamond again. The last time I showed off Crazy Diamond, some of its features were very different because by the time it got released, there were actually some notable changes. So let's start with the punch. It's a pretty standard attack, but as you can see, it inflicts weight and slowness on its opponents, which should be good for keeping them locked into some attacks. Then the same is true of Crazy Diamond's Rush. Crazy Diamond's Sneak ability puts up a wall, and this wall should stop mobs and projectiles from coming at you. But if you're in the air, the Sneak ability actually changes to shooting a rock forward. Notably, if your armor or weapons sustain damage, hitting the X button will actually fix them. And of course, as you might expect, Crazy Diamond can heal mobs. The last time I showed off Crazy Diamond, I showed an ability that reflected projectiles at it, but this has actually been merged into the shield of Crazy Diamond, so the projectiles deflected at the cost of the shield automatically. And finally, Crazy Diamond gained a special move that's pretty useful in combat. If you use Sneak X, while you're facing an opponent, they are grounded. And while they're grounded, they're held in place, and it's a pretty good opportunity to rush or attack them. It also blinds them, so it's as if you're turning them into a rock. Beyond using it for what he did against Angelo, you can also seal opponents into a book. This is mostly just a joke. You can't unleash them or anything, but if you hold a book when you kill an opponent with Crazy Diamond, it says you can hear their voice from the book. So you can kind of collect these as trophies. It's just for fun. Crazy Diamond skins, we have this red palette swap from the anime. We have this crazy Corallium skin. And we have the skin that I gave Crazy Diamond in JoJo Stars. Alright, now I'd like to move on to features I've added to Whitesnake in the latest update, to catch everyone up to speed on changes to the mod pack. So after seeing a JoJo data pack, I was kind of inspired to add a memory disk mechanic. And in this case, we can take the memories of the mobs by sneak right clicking with a bare hand, and you can see we get this stand disk that says Skeleton Memory Disk. It's a mob type, it has 20 health, 2 power, and 0.25 speed. And you can see that the skeleton without its mind is completely brain dead, it's looking at the ground, and you can just pop this back in, and the skeleton will regain consciousness. See, he's back. Of course, this is a powerful ability, so you can only do it to mobs when you decrease their health to 20 or below. So this is a harvest. If we steal its disc, we can see that it has 8 health, not a lot, but it also has 0.70 speed, which is pretty insane. If we sneak right click another mob with this disc, you can see that its health is set to 8, and it took the harvest memories, so it is now insanely fast as well. If you take a disc from a creeper, you will see it doesn't really have the creeper's stats, but it does have an attribute known as explosion. This is considered an explosion disc. Put an explosion disc into a mob next to a crowd of mobs, they will explode. But that's not all. You can steal discs from aquatic mobs, and you get drowning discs. Now, what exactly do drowning discs do? If you wait long enough, the mob will start suffocating. And if there's ever been a mob you really liked, but it's hostile so you can't have it, like, let's say this minion of the gatekeeper, you're like, man, I like gatekeeping. It's a real shame I can't have one of these around. Well, now you can, because you can steal a disc from a passive mob, and if you apply it to another mob, they actually become pacified. As you can see, this effect is kind of imperfect on some mobs, but generally it does the trick. One of the most interesting uses of Whitesnake's ability is to take villager discs. So you can see this villager trades 10 gold for 1 emerald, and if we take him, he no longer trades anything. But this guy trades 20 stone masks for an emerald. And if we look at our discs, villager memory disc, and put it in, he now trades gold for emeralds. If you've ever seen one of those vampire hunters with a ridiculous amount of health, you can actually take that health! So I spawned in this very high level vampire hunter, we take its disc out, and we put it in a skeleton, and you can see that, yes, the skeleton did gain an insane amount of health. Now you might start to begin to think of how you can use this, but I must warn you that not every mob is compatible, sadly. So if there's ever been a custom stand you've had that you really liked, like I have this dripping stand over here, you can actually now remove this and turn it into a custom stand memory disk. It still retains the original stand, but now if you go over to another stand slot and switch to it, and you sneak right click, you have overwritten that stand with the other one. So basically, you can now share custom stands with your friends. I hope you enjoyed all of these new features, and happy Jojoveining.